Well, I thought you could show me how to get and install app.test.
That's a great idea. So then let's head over to our website. I hope you already downloaded app.test as we have seen in the last session. If you did not, it's time to. Simply click on download. Then you get the zip file that contains everything you need. We already have this, so here we have these 3 files. All we do is we double click the setup on Windows platforms, or we call setup sh on Linux platforms or on Mac OS, whatever you prefer. Then we click through our setup. For sure we accept the license agreements as the application is free anyway. So then setup is performing everything we need. It's a few seconds, that's it. Then you can tick or untick start application and done, that's it. So the next step is we switch to our application and we are already here in our welcome screen. The nice lady shows us what we can do here. Normally we get started with some sample applications, we start with a new project, or we take an info tour. So what would you like to see?
Well, let's say I'm a web developer and, well, I'm responsible for my online shop and for the order process. What can app.test do for me in this case?
That's a great question, and I'm sure we will find the answer soon. Because if you click on samples for web developers here, app.test immediately downloads a zip file where some samples are already available. So let's say we just want to have a look at the Amazon sample as we were talking about the order process. So we click finish, and here we are. As we already know how we get started, we can close this here. It's quite a nice info tour, but we don't need it now. So let's head over to our Amazon sample. And I would say we create a new test immediately. Let's not use the previously one. So what we see here is we have the project structure. Everybody using Eclipse is already keen on that. So we say tests, context menu, new test. This test will be given a name, so we call it order process, for instance, as you wish, and finish. So then we are in the middle of app.test Studio already. In the center area you see the so-called outline. Here are all the test steps, we will see that later on, and here on the right hand side this is the so-called recorder. But it's quite empty yet, let's change that. First thing we do is we insert the specification file. This is the pattern of your website that is designed in the pattern designer. We will see that in the next session. As we already have the pattern for Amazon, we just tick this icon and then we go to the properties view. Here we are, and we tell app.test we need the Amazon spec file. So we give it a name, let's say order, and then let's start the recorder, or we start recording a test. In other words, we tell app.test what we want to test now. For instance, here we enter the URL amazon.com and we tick set as default, so app.test remembers that.
So I see here's a client type. What does it mean?
Client type offers you the possibility to switch between browsers. So you can choose which browser you would like to use for recording or running your test. The cool thing is that you record your test in one browser and it can be executed in any browser immediately. So no modifications, no transfers, no translations in any way are necessary. You just select the version you want or the browser you want, and there you go. For instance, here with Mozilla Firefox you have different versions that you can select. In the Primo version you can only use the version Firefox 3.6, but in the premium version you can also use the previous versions. So let's go back. We have set our proxy correctly if you need it, and we tick OK. And if we tick start recording now, we get a yellow bar up here. This yellow bar indicates that we did not tell app.test yet which pattern we want to use. We could use the default one, but as we already have one for Amazon, we tell app.test that we want to use this one. So all we have to do is we go back to the studio, select the pattern, execution, and click step into. Now the pattern is loaded and we can start recording immediately. So let's, for instance...
So this is the real online Amazon website?
Yes, this is live. So if we lose the internet connection, we cannot continue. And now we work as we would do it if we are back at home looking for a book. For instance, we are looking for a book that is called Test-Driven Development. And we click go. And yeah, here is the book we were looking for. So we select it, and that's the one we want, so we say add to cart.
So you are recording things or steps that a normal user would do?
Yes, right. And these things are reproducible again. So if we close the browser and we say we want to run this test in Firefox, we click OK, and now what we did before, when in recording mode, this is executed in the player mode. So we can have a look if the test is running, if we have any errors, any mistakes in the test, and if everything goes right, we could immediately save it to our, let's say, code repository. And
I'm, as a developer, I can be sure that my functionality works on different browsers.
Yes, immediately. So you see, we are now here. We have this area where we have said, okay, we are looking for a book that is called Test-Driven Development. We have the results here already, and we could continue verifying what is on the page, etc., etc. And that's pretty much it. What happens if you are recording a test in Fabersoft app.test, and this test can be saved and run in unattended mode immediately, as we have seen in the last session.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.